A very good afternoon to everyone. We have a very special guest with us today, Mr. Hemanth Sagar from Young World Preschool. So before we get into the session, let me introduce our guest to you. Mr. Hemanth Sagar is an MBA graduate from Symbiosis and has done his nursery teachers training from National Institute of Early Childhood Education Center. With the vision to provide to quality education at an affordable fee structure, he started Young World Preschool in the year 2013 at Indiranagar, Bangalore. It's been 10 years since its inception, and he has been operating many centers across Bangalore. A very warm welcome to you, Mr. Hemanth.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
So to begin with, Mr. Hemanth, I would like to understand from you that what was the thought behind starting the school?
Ma'am, actually my father is a retired principal of St. Anthony Public School from Skoolz, Bangalore.
Okay.
So he had a vision or a dream to have his own school. So after my graduation, I was working for Hindustan Unilever.
Okay.
So, being stressed by the corporate world and after a couple of years being with them, then I thought, why don't I start my own venture? So then dad said like, okay, why don't we start a small school? So there was one preschool which was for sale at Indiranagar. So we took up that building and that's how it started. That's how we started Young World journey.
That's amazing. It's really nice because it's very rare that usually see male principals or center heads in preschool. So great.
Correct, ma'am. So I just want to add one more point. So what happened was when we started, it was not like we didn't directly start as Young World. So because since I was also new to the field, so I had taken up a franchisee, a Delhi-based school franchisee.
Okay.
I contacted them for the training purpose. They asked me to come to Delhi. Then they said you have to be accompanied either with your wife or mother. So that time I was not married. So I said like, why is that? So they said like only a woman can give that mother love and all those things. So I said then mine would be the first school to give father love. Once they heard that, they immediately like, okay, come to Delhi. So I went alone and had.
Great. Absolutely. It's absolutely possible. And I hope that many more fathers come to this area of education. That would be amazing.
True.
So, Mr. Hemanth, that city like Bangalore, we see that there are so many schools coming up every year. They are mushrooming in every nook and corner, and especially preschools, which are there in probably every second or third lane. So with so many preschools around, how do you stand to make a difference?
Ma'am, see, as you told, every lane has a preschool. So what people think are like, they think, okay, preschool is an easy job. We just take kids, we play some music and rhymes or something and send them. So they feel like handling preschool is a very easy thing. But to be very frank, it's one of the most, tedious jobs I've ever done. More complex, right? So to like how Young World differentiates, like first thing is our quality of education. I want to give the top class quality right from the curriculum, the books, the uniform, everything. And I don't want to charge lump sum like a huge amount, like lakhs together. My vision of entering preschool was to give that quality of education for upper middle class people. So we generally hire entity trained teachers. All our staff are entity trained. Then we select a huge campus, or we don't take a small campus. So minimum, all of my buildings are minimum 4 to 5 BHKs, and which have minimum at least 1,200 square feet of play area. So that is my idea of having a preschool. So that's how we stand out, and over the years, the quality what we have delivered, parents are happy and they bring us new people. Like we don't do much marketing, we don't spend it on ads and things like that. I spend more money on the curriculum or on the books, which in turn works for me for word of mouth.
I think that's the right way to go, because one can do marketing and talk about a lot of things in the first year, but after that, it has to be word of mouth, because I'm sure that the one happy parent will bring 5 more happy parents.
Yes, ma'am. And lucky thing is, due to COVID, we have the younger siblings also coming now.
Yeah, that's great. Absolutely, I'm sure. And like you talked about the play area, which is so important, to have, especially for the younger kids. That's great. So now, as an educator, of course, you've been in this line for 10 years, almost a decade. What role do you think, because today you see the parents, talking about the boards a lot, whether it's ICSE, CBSE, IB, IGCSE, and gone are the days when, probably at my age, of course, my parents would put me in the school, whichever was the closest, irrespective of the board that it followed. So, do you think that boards really actually define a child's success?
Ma'am, see, technically speaking, I'm from a state board. I'm a Karnataka state board student. And many of the IPS or IAS officers of our state are from state board or government schools. Okay, so I personally feel what inputs you get it from home and what effort you put at home by yourself matters a lot rather than the board. So what has happened is now the trend is like more of CBSE, where gone are the days of state board. I think no benefits of the state board. I really felt the difference when I came to first PUC. So when I joined my college at St. Joseph's for the first PUC, so there I had my peers who had come from CBSE and ICSE background, and their math and English was much better than us. So that's when I felt the difference. So the calculus or the integration which we had to learn there, and it was so hectic and tiresome there. So the CBSE and ICSE guys were able to do it in seconds or minutes. Mm-hmm. That's when, so when we now today's world is full of competition. So absolutely. When we are sending our kid to the world, so he has to be well equipped. So whichever board he goes or wherever he goes. So he see that the confidence what you get there matters a lot. So technically speaking, I felt a bit low when I saw other kids doing and I was not able to do it. So in case the kid is able to handle that pressure and knows concepts much better, then I think he will definitely succeed well. So grades means boards also matter now, ma'am. Yes, it does matter, but more than the whichever school or whichever board he goes to, main thing is from home, ma'am. The parents' effort matters a lot. That's what I personally feel.
Absolutely. I think that's very true, because boards are just structures, to tell you on how to do things, but eventually it depends on the child and home, like you said. And look at you today, you are from state board and you're doing so well for yourself. So it doesn't really matter what board the child passes out from, because eventually the hard work pays and the child can do really well irrespective of the board. Now, you would have come across, parents all the time who have, suppose they have a 3-year-old and they see another 3-year-old and they find that the other child knows much more than their own child. They wonder that, how is it, why is it that my child does not know as much as the other child? So do you think that, is there any particular way that the child learns best?
Ma'am, I just met a parent a couple of hours ago. So they also told the same thing. They said my child is not so good as another 4-year-old kid. So the parent herself is confessing that, or she also already decided that her kid is not smart as the other kid. So first thing I told her was, please don't compare your child to another child. So every child is unique and special. Okay, that is the first thing. So for a toddler age kid, ma'am, like 2 years old to 6 years old, we cannot make them sit down and teach them. That is highly impossible. So kids of this age, they see by learn. They see and learn. So they try to imitate whatever you do. And so first teacher, as they say, mother is the first teacher. So they observe mother, father and people around home and they try to imitate them. So the way they walk or they eat and everything. So if the parent at home is very shy or very reserved and they don't talk to the neighbor, they don't go out, or they are mostly introverts, then the child is used to the same way of upbringing. So the child also tends to become the same way. If you are as a parent, you need to nurture him with a lot of things. Though even though you are an introvert, but at least for the child, you need to take him out, teach him new things. Means whatever you teach, he would learn. So if the child has not learned, means you have not taught him much. So you can give him, like, you can start early, from past 1 year or 1.5 year. So if you remember our Vedas or the mythological story, the child can hear in the mother tummy itself. So that's the mythology. So that's the fact also. The child is able to grasp from a very small age. So it's up to the parent how well they give the child the atmosphere to learn new things. So it depends on the parent. That's what. The parents have to be well equipped and all.
And do you think that being good in academics is enough for a child to succeed in life?
My friends who were in school who were toppers, they are still struggling in life skills. So what I personally feel is life skills are much important than academics. Academics, it's just testing your memory. That's what
Yes.
I feel.
Yes.
Academics is they just want to test you how much you remember, how much you're putting it on paper. But deciding whether tomato is a fruit or a vegetable, that's where the life skills matter and intelligence matter. And today, I don't think why we learn calculus and integration, wherein they should have taught us plumbing and carpentry, which would have been life skill for us. So I personally feel academics really don't matter, man. They are just a grade or a piece of paper which will define you for the qualification.
Very true. I think that's very well put, because life skills today is the key for any person to know how to live by, the realities of life. That's so true. And the trend today is once a child comes back from school, then the parent wants to put the child, say, in music class, then dance class, then art class, and the classes and so forth, and the child is doing a lot of things back to back. Now, do you think that is there any particular skill that the parents can probably imbibe or inculcate in children to help them become overall personality? Because every parent wants that my child should become, develop an overall personality. So can the parents do something to help that?
And first thing, they should make the child independent. What happens, like what I've seen over the years is, so as a parent, we give our 100 or 1000% love on the child. So over the period of time, the child also grows. But even though the child becomes 6 years, like up to 5 years, we consider it as a toddler. After 7 years, 10 years also, in our heart and mind, we still feel it's a small kid. Okay, we don't let the child to take its plate. We don't let the child to clean its room. We keep doing it. And suddenly one fine day, once he clears the 10th board or 15 years, then we realize, oh, he has already grown up. Then we say, hey, go clean your bed or go make your bed. Then the boy is already set for 15 years. So he's like, he doesn't do. He expects you to do. He expects you to lift the plate. Then that's when you get irritated. You say like, no, you're not doing it right. So my thing is first make the child independent. So start it from small. So there's nothing like is very small. You can help, you can tell him, you can ask them to do household chores at a small age. That's what my parents did. So they made me to clean the windows and wash the car, clean the house, mop the floor, fold my dress, iron my clothes. So all these things they made me do it independently when I was like 5th standard, 4th standard. So that time, and definitely I used to curse them, and I was so angry that they are making me child labor and everything. But today, I really thank them because I am way independent than my friends. and that is one of the added that those things added to my personality. Like I have the confidence. Suppose like there's a water leakage, I can do it myself because I've been seeing it from a small age, and I used to observe when a plumber used to come. So these are the things which the child has to be taught, and it has to start from a small age. So everything has to start from a small age is what I feel. So considering it as a child till 6, 10 years or 12 years, and then you expect him to have it doesn't work.
Yeah, I think that's so true. That's so true, because we are looking at building overall personalities, but we don't look at what has to be the foundation. That's where we miss out on, and that's very true. Now, of course, we are living in a digital age where right from probably you would have seen it, whether a child is 4-5 months old or 6 months old, when the parent is busy or the child is given the mobile to play with, and those kind of things happen, and a lot of times we are just glued to in some kind of a screen most of the time. So in this kind of an age, how do you think that we can create curious learners, children who are explorers? How do we inculcate that curiosity in them?
See, kids are born curious, man. See, for us, mango is like we have tasted 100 times and doesn't excite us. For a 2-year-old, it's tasting mango for the first time, or everything is for the first time. So he's very excited and happy to try everything. He wants to imitate us. Whatever we do, he wants to do. If you are, don't get me wrong, if you are oozing also, he wants to try that because he wants to see what are they doing. And once you say you avoid them or you hide it from them, the curiosity increases more. And telling the parent, like we always complain like the kid is using it. But who are we? Like it's us who are giving the mobile. Right? We cannot avoid mobile. That's what I personally feel. Because if we need to avoid a mobile, then we should stop using it, which is not possible, because now we are going back there. Like I read somewhere like the exams were also conducted on some college conducted exams also on the smart on the tab. So we are going to the digital era. We cannot avoid the child to use mobile, but what we can do is we can reduce the screen time. So we can reduce the screen time. So we should fix particular time. Like when we were kids, we had 1 hour of TV time, right? So it was our TV time. So after that, we need to shut the TV, go and study. So we need to bring in those habits from a small age. That is one thing. And we should have more physical activities. So we should ask, like, see, I personally feel 90% depends on the parent. 90% depends on the parent. So the parent has to be active that, okay, come, let's go out and play. So today, parents they don't have time, or they are tired, they cannot give that. So they want to substantiate that with the digital platform. So including our sisters' kids, when we go out for a restaurant, we want them to just sit down at one place. The best way to keep them sit down at one place, we give them mobile. Some relatives have come, or we go to movie or something. We want the child to glue to some place. It's something like an invisible chain where we give the gadget and the child is locked. So let us reduce the screen time, increase more of other activities, like let us take them to a nature walk. Today, when we go out, except for 2-3 trees like coconut or mango, I'm seriously not able to identify which is other. And we don't know which plant is it, like whether it is a chili plant or a tomato plant, at least by a look of it. We don't know how does a plant look. We have been seeing only the tomatoes and chilies. So I think these are the basic things which we need to learn and teach our kids. So a future generation has some knowledgeable people. It should not be like, okay, what is tomato means they should not Google. We don't want a Google generation. We want a generation with knowledge which they can identify.
That's absolutely right. What do you think that activities, how much of a role do they play in one's curriculum? And in your school, how much emphasis do you give to these activities?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, see, all my campus, we have a huge garden.
Okay.
So, in my own Indiranagar campus, I have mango tree, I have banana, then we have guava, then we have jackfruit. So the kid is exposed to like this, they can see it growing, and we teach them like, see, this is the mango tree. So they try to understand. So every week we have a no bag day, wherein that day, like, the kid is exposed to completely games. The child does not bring any books that day. So he'll have 1 hour of complete natural activities like gardening. So the child, whatever water is left out in its bottle, he'll be pouring it to the trees and plants, whatever we have. So he's getting connected to the nature at a young age. So obviously when there are trees means we have small insects also. All insects will bite them. So what phobia parents have created is, once they see an insect, no, it will bite. Oh no, my child is allergic to sand. My kid is allergic to sand. One parent told me, like, why don't you cover up the entire play area? We have natural trees. Natural shade is there. But parent wanted us to cover it with artificial sheet. Sunlight is not coming. The mother didn't want the child to be exposed to sunlight. I said, ma'am, that's the main source of vitamin D. If you are not exposing the child to the natural air and sunlight, how will the child become strong? If he plays with sand, the child will fall sick. Come on, the child has to fall sick to improve his immunity.
Yes.
Then, over a period of time, the child will become much stronger. So, you cannot expect the child not to fall sick or not to fall down or not to have any scratches. I'm sorry, you will not be raising a kid, you will be raising a dog. So, I want the child to play in sand, fall down, like how we grew. We outside, we used to climb trees. That's the reason we know at least 2-3 trees at least. If I talk to any Gen Z or like 2000 after born kids, they really don't know how rice is grown. It's sticky or it's on ground. So I have met a couple of students from a very good school, but their general knowledge is like zero. So we try to inculcate all this at Young World. So we give them, I personally believe play is the highest form of research. So we make them play. So every day 1 hour of play is there. Then we have dance sessions every day. We have rhyme sessions every day. We teach them Bhagavad Gita. We don't teach them, we just read out. The teachers keep singing it, so they hear it. No doubt the child keeps weird. We cannot expect a 2-year-old to sit down. He keeps running in the room. But he will be so sharp that he'll be listening to whatever the the teacher says. And we have instances where the child has gone home and recited a couple of lines. So the parents were so shocked or curious to know, like, where did you learn this? So then they asked us, and then we said, yeah, we do this. So even though then they say, like, no, my child doesn't sit at one place. How can we teach them? We said, don't expect him to sit down. You keep doing it. If you want your child to read a book, you pick up a book first. You just pick your book and sit down. Automatically, he will also come. He will pick his book. And you tell him a story. Though he's playing or he's running around, he will definitely listen to you. And believe it or not, next day, he will recite the same story or rhyme to you again. So this is my personal experience. So that's how we try, ma'am. With whatever 3 hours of time we get in a preschool, we are trying our best to put it into the child. But remaining 21 hours is with the parent. So that's why I'm stressing so much about the parent.
No, absolutely. And I think what you spoke about sunlight and outdoor play is so important, because more and more number of children are having vitamin D deficiency, and they have to realize that what is the reason behind it, and that sunlight being the most important source for that. It's so important. I think the outdoor play, like you stressed, is the best form of activity that any school can have. Now, we know that each child is unique and they all don't learn at the same pace. So I just want to understand that at your school, if a child is not able to cope up, at whatever is expected for the child of his age, then do you have some process in place to help the child, cope with it or come up to the level of the other children?
Definitely. So we would have planned our curriculum for just 3 weeks, ma'am. In a month, though we have 4 weeks, we would have planned our curriculum only for 15 weeks. So in this month, like small kids are generally tend to fall sick and they'll not attend. So few kids would pick up very quickly, and if we have finished our curriculum for that, like whatever, if we have planned to teach them like up to 5 for that month, and the child has grasped it in 3 weeks, then we'll not limit him for up to 5. We will push him up to 6 or 7 or whatever he can learn up to next one more week for that child, because the child is very curious, is very active, is learning quickly, and if I repeat the same thing, he gets bored. So what we need to do, we will give him more. And for a child who is still taking time, or he was absent for some days and he needs much more time, so the teacher sits with those children especially, and she revises it again. So we have one more week extra for such students, wherein those things are repeated and taught to them much before we go on to the next week.
So the children who have not been able to cope up are the ones that teachers help with. So in this time when there is no curriculum, what is planned for the other children?
Ma'am, we have like rhyme sessions. We have new rhyme sessions. We have puppet shows. Then we give them more of like Montessori equipments. We are not a Montessori school, but we have few Montessori equipments, hands-on activity equipments, wherein they play that again, and have few quiz games. Like we will make kids who are learned well, so we make them to the, like we select like 5 to 6, we make them a group and we ask them questions, like whoever answers whoever answers first. So we also make them to come up on stage and talk. So in fact, this helps them to get rid of their stage fear and gives them that confidence, saying that okay, I have learned things. And once you have to see the child, ma'am, once he answers that question, the confidence and smile what he gets on his face, it carries up until he sleeps that night. And if he wins any medal or trophy, I have seen photos wherein they wear that and sleep. Child is so happy that the feeling of full means achievement, and that's nice.
Absolutely, I think that's very true. And so, what kind of a curriculum do you follow at your school?
Ours is a playway method of teaching.
Okay.
So I am a big follower of Maria Montessori, but thing is, currently to our Indian standards and Indian preschool, like we can teach follow Montessori up to UKG, but there are 1 or 2 schools which have Montessori teaching methods up to grade 10. So technically Montessori is not for Indian curriculum. So but they're teaching few methods like the multiplication or the colors or the literature is very good, and the child will really pick it up very well. So we have those materials, ma'am. So we teach them in that, as well as we make them write also. So following that way. So it's a mixture, ma'am. We don't one particular method. Like we have taken good things from all. So we mix and match those things.
Okay, great. So what is the student-teacher ratio that you follow in each class? How many children and how many teachers?
1:10 is the ratio. So we have 1 teacher and 1 maid per each class. So the maid will be taking in case the child needs to go to the restroom. Every classroom has a restroom in our building. So the maid will be there in case they want to take the child to the restroom, and the teacher will be helping. Will do the teaching part. We go up to 12 or 13 per class, suppose. Once that number increases, then we'll put 1 more teacher, and we segregate. We make 1 more classroom itself. So more than 10 to 12 students, the teacher can concentrate. So putting kids in 1 classroom, it won't. So because few kids, like as the slower learning kids, they'll be lost in their own world, and good ones will. So we follow that 1:10 ratio.
Yeah. No, I think that's a perfect student-teacher ratio where all the children are giving attention to. That's really good. And now coming to workforce, as we call them, or the teachers, who form the pillars of any school. So if somebody would like to join the school, your school, knowing such exciting things that you all are doing, what is the process of recruitment that you follow?
First thing, ma'am, she should be a graduate first.
Okay.
So have cases wherein the the candidate, whoever comes, they are already means they love, and second thing is love for kids. They should. It's not like they just come for or the salary part. First thing is they should love kids. If you love kids, then being a teacher is an easy job. If you love kids and be a kid among kids, then the whole process it's not tiresome. You will love coming to school. It will be like not a job. You yourself are learning and relearning every day. So first thing we look at that. So then much before hiring, I ask them to come for trial for 15 days. We pay them for 15 days, but I say like much before I give you the offer letter, you need to come and go. Then we also one part is that then we also look for nursery teacher training certification. So that is because that whatever the nursery teacher training, that's just as I told you at the beginning, that's just a certificate. So will come with a certificate saying that I have done my MBA. But first I want to see you a demo for 15 days. First day demo, they'll come, they'll do it very nicely just because for 15-20 minutes everyone will do. But for 15 days, I'll watch their class. I will watch their CCTV footage of how the teacher is being with the kids. So then we decide. So that's how I recruit my staff. Luckily, I found all my staff on my same wavelength. They all love kids. They are
that's and I think more important than the qualifications, because degrees can be acquired and you can keep studying, but the inherent qualities of patience and love for children is something that you can't really get with degrees, and either you have it or you don't have it, including passion for teaching. That's absolutely true.
All this will be analyzed in 15 days.
Yes.
If all these qualities have been just on the CV, then I'll be getting to know in 15 days. If they really mean it, then also we will be analyzing.
Yeah, I know. So do you also have some kind of, usually of course schools have induction period or the trainings at the beginning of the session, but do you also have something which is ongoing through the year?
Ma'am, see, one session per year will never work. I believe so. It is just like to showcase parents that we train our teachers once a year, we take them 2 days. How can we teach them the entire? Because that it doesn't work out like that. So what we do is every week we have we don't keep that 1 year curriculum for 1 year. So we again, whatever doubts we have for 1 month, we plan accordingly 1 month. Every Saturday we plan. So in that week, if teacher has any issues or any doubts in that, we'll sort it out then. So that she will try for the next week. So then again we'll assess whether it has worked it or not. So if it has worked, then fine. Then no, means again we'll think why. So we'll look for alternate out. So we have a year whole year training for the teachers. It's not training, it's a discussion. Sit and talk what happened, how is your class, what have you thought? We would have given her to finish this much for that 1 week. Have you been able to complete? If yes, how many kids are able to do it? See, if she says no, these two kids are not able to do it. Okay, why? So then since it's a preschool, almost all teachers will be knowing all kids, and kids also will be knowing other teachers. So we'll try that kid with another teacher. So there are many cases where the child has learned with another teacher because her way of teaching, or she might have pampered him, made him sit on a thought. So there are various cases. So we'll make sure something will work. The whole point is the child has to be happy, parents has to be happy, and we should have that satisfaction that we have done our justice to them.
That's such a unique way of doing it, like you said, when a child is not able to learn by one teacher. Because I remember that, when children found it, across schools, when children found it difficult to understand, they would tell the teacher that I'm not able to understand. The same teacher would teach with the same method. Even if she taught it 3-4 times, the child would fail to understand because she did not realize that she had to change her way of making the child learn. That's I think an amazing way that you guys are doing it. Now, a big concern or a question that remains in the minds of parents, especially in these times because of some of the incidents that have occurred, is to do with safety. Of course, there are guidelines set by the government, and schools are following a lot of safety protocols. So at Young World Preschool, what is it that you follow to ensure that a child is safe in the confines of your school?
Ma'am, once they are entering the school, we check the temperature. So that's the first step, whether the child is having any fever or so if the child is having fever, we'll send them back. Reason being, chances of other kids contacting him and spreading from him is more. So we tend to send him. Second thing, if he has a running nose or anything, if it is in the permissible limit, because kids have running nose throughout the year. So if it is below the permissible limit, then yes, we'll take them in. Or if it is too much, like they are sneezing, and we can make out, ma'am, whether they are today normal, because we see them every day now. So we can gauge them whether they are normal or not in good state that day. So that might be like if there is a fight at home also, they come in a very bad state of mind that day. So we need to pamper them and ask them what has happened. And we ask parents also not to do anything in front of the kids, because that has a lot of impact. Then coming to the safety part, ma'am, all our women, my entire staffing is women except me and the secretary. So the security will be outside, and I have particularly hired a old guy. He's around 50-60 plus. So we don't need like a security who holds guns and things like that. We want a caring grandpa who lets them in, and we want someone to be in there. So I have hired that guy. And all our corners we have put rubber, like soft things. We don't have sharp edges. We have covered it with foam things. Then we have safety nets on the staircase and the railings. Then we have put mats on the stairs. Suppose even if the child slips, it should not be hurt. So as of now, these are the safe. And we have 16 cameras now. 16 cameras, CCTV cameras. So the entire process is.
Yeah, that seems quite safe for the kids. I think parents should ask for more. So tell me...
Parent will be safe after 2 months. Kid will be safe, but parent will take 2 months to adjust to us.
Correct.
2-3 days. But will have so much of thoughts, and the mother will feel, okay, what if he falls down? He will not fall down. No. What if he... See, our... tendency is like, what if he falls down? If he gets hurt, it takes time.
I can understand that. I think maybe parents need to understand that yes, if children fall down, that's how they grow. So it's okay. At least they will not get badly hurt. That is the most important thing. And tell me, what annual events, which you just have it once a year kind of a thing, what are the important events that you conduct at your school?
Ma'am, for me, whether I celebrate it at home or not, every festival is celebrated at school. Right from Ramzan to Christmas to today, it's Ram Navami also. So that was the reason I had it in it. So we celebrate every festival because I want the kid to know what festival it is. Because when I was a kid, they used to give me holiday for Ramzan. I didn't know why they gave me holiday. Who is celebrating? No idea. But it's a government. But I want my kids to know what festival it is. How? So each and every festival is celebrated at our school. Colors Day we celebrate. World Environment Day we celebrate. Like Yoga Day we celebrate. So we want kids to know. So every week there is a celebration and something or the other will be there. Apart from this, we have a sports day. As I told you, sports. Few schools do either sports day or annual day. But in my school, we do both every year. So every year, November, we have a sports meet. So kids tend to exhibit their sport skills. And I also believe a few schools, they hand over the medal to everyone. They say everyone is a winner. No. Kids should know winning and losing from a young age. You make them feel they are winners till 10th standard of then you leave them to the world, and there they see the realities of the world and they get depressed. Okay, why am I not able to win? Or I was a winner back home, I used to get whatever I wanted, but now why? So I want them to know. So if you want something, you need to work for it, you need to win. And it's okay, if you lose, no problem, we are still giving you a certificate. Next year you try. So the child at least will think, okay, next year I should get that certificate or the medal at least. So we select winners, it's an open thing, when they run, we select the first three. So I believe in that. So we have that as sports day. Then we have a annual day, grand annual day with full songs and dance and skit. We have two grand events.
Great. So coming to parent participation, whether it is in terms of the curriculum or completing homework, or in terms of some kind of activities at school, how much of parent participation do you expect?
At school, ma'am, or in kids?
At school, yes. At school.
Ma'am, at school, what we do is for every festival, so we request one of the parent to come and to come and explain the other kids. So that way, so other kids also get to know, the mother is also involving, so she will prepare herself. Needs to explain not only her kid, other kids also, at least so that she will prepare well. So we have parent coming by. So we celebrate we have sports, Father's Day, we invite dads. So we make them to put leave on that day. We just tell him this is the biggest gift you can give. Everyone is working for your kid only, right? Our kids only. We are working for our kids. So if you don't put leave on this day, then there is no point. So at least then they will put leave when they come. So we have dad's participation in that. Then we have competitions for mom also. In our annual day, we made a group of daddies dance. We made a mother's dance. We made both kid and mother dance. So this, we try to involve them, ma'am. Out of 50, 60 parents, not everyone would involve so much, but at least 50% to 100%. They means I talk about all this during orientation. So when I talk about all these points during orientation day, few would take it to heart and they will definitely participate. And few would be okay, this guy is which is of no use. And they continue to be the same. So whoever are participating, they'll be, and I can see those kids different, ma'am. Parents participated kids versus participating parents. So parents who are participating, those kids outshine in studies also, sports also. Because again, if you remember, they see what the parent is doing and they try to copy. Okay, my parent is participating, I should also participate. My mother is dancing, I should also dance. That's a linear proposal.
Very true. I think that's something for the parents to understand. It's been such an amazing conversation, Mr. Hemanth. I would, before we wind up, I would like to know, of course, you've told me about who inspired for you to get into this field, but I would like to know, what was that eureka moment when you knew that you wanted to be an educator?
I came to this field just by chance, ma'am. But after joining and after probably being 3 or 4 months with the kids, the happiness what I got, the love what I got, that was unconditional, ma'am. till today, the love what I get from my kids is unconditional. They see the teacher might say good morning or hi just probably for my position or just because I'm good. But a child coming and hugging me and saying good morning, no one has taught him, but that's love. And he does it for his own joy, and he comes and he compliments me like, sir, nice shirt. Such things, I think no $1 million will be. And when I came to this moment, I've forgotten about the financials. Though the school was closed for 2 years, like for COVID, we were shut for 2 years. We were running around 7-8 branches, and like many of my friends or franchises all had to shut down the schools because they were so financial. But I didn't want to close the school because I worked so much for the school. I joined one more company. I joined for a MNC again to support my school so that I can pay the rent and my premises. So that's what. It started like that, but now it has been like it's a part of me.
Yes. I can see the love and the passion that you have for the children and the school that you have started. And I only pray that, the number of centers keep growing and your school keeps scaling greater heights, and it would become a household name in no time because, people with so much passion and the ones going on the right track are very hard to find. So I would really like to wish you and your school all the very best. And we hope that we have you back again soon.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks, Archana ma'am, for your sweet and encouraging words. Hopefully, we will. It's not about every people knowing about Young World. I want people who know about Young World to give their 100%. The parents, whoever are there at Young World, let them give 100%. I don't want to become a pan-India brand or have 500 centers at Bangalore. Even though we operate 5 centers, those 500 parents should be like different from the present parents. That is my whole point.
Absolutely, amen. Yes, that will happen. So we wish you all the very best. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for your time. Thanks.